I fixed the thing good enough, I think. The parts washer, I pulled that bolt out of the drain. I stuck a rubber stopper in from the top side, and then I installed a like a 1/2 inch nipple and a 1/2 inch, maybe it's 1/4 inch, whatever, 1/4 turn valve. And if that doesn't work, we got a pan to stop things from flowing. So I'll have to see how this goes in the next few days, but so good so far. I said that backward, didn't I? Got my 1-cylinder head up here that has a bolt still in it. I couldn't get this guy out because the temp sensor's in there. I want to pull out all the spark plugs and remove any broken exhaust bolts. There's a spider web there. But now that I'm looking at it, I don't see a broken exhaust bolt in this head, so maybe I just go back to the other head. This is trash. Oh, would you look at that? Okay. I'm doing awesome. As long as we got this head here, let's take a look at it. All these water passages should be nice and open like that, right? Nice and open, not so open. Not so open, not so open. I don't know if that's even a passage. But that should be, that should be. So I got some cleaning to do. I might as well pull the plugs out. I've got to scrape all this gasket material off anyway. Eventually I'm going to clean up the gaskets and try to copper spray them, but today we'll just try to get these heads cleaned up, get the exhaust studs out of the other one, and yeah, then it's on to copper spraying the gaskets. There's only one broken exhaust bolt, I think, so we'll have to move it over to my welding table and try to take care of it. So that guy there, I'm going to try to weld a washer to it and then a nut. And I'll twist it off until it breaks, and then I'll do it again and twist it and break it and do it again until that thing comes out. Just the fact that you're heat cycling it over and over seems to help loosen it up, so you don't get discouraged on the first one. The welding bench is this stack of tires. You may have seen how horribly I can attempt at welding aluminum. This is my friend that came over. He was a certified aerospace welder, and that's all he could do with it. He did better, but he still said it seems like your bottle has some moisture in it or something. So I don't have a way to verify that until I can go to somebody's shop and swap with them. What's with the focus? Huh. There we go. But anyway, he couldn't weld with it either. We played with all kinds of settings and couldn't get anything to work out much better than what I was already doing. So I don't feel too bad about that anymore. Cool. I think my amperage might be a tad high. Kind of burned away the nut there. We've got a little weld slag to clean out. This is not a bad start. Sweet, I love it when it works. So I've done this before. I don't know why I'm so excited, but it worked on the first try. MacGyver, thanks for teaching me that. It worked like a charm. It was that ugly, I guess, bolt that I just made out of this broken stud. It backed right out of there. So now all I have to do is clean all the gasket surfaces, get the welding slag out of there, and I think we're good to go. Oh, not too hot, okay. Look at that. I am so excited I got this out on the first try. One nut, one washer. That's all that's going in the garbage. In fact, she gone. We can be reassembling a motor pretty soon. Maybe it'll be running this year. Alright, back in the barn with my little helper. We're going to clean up some cylinder heads today. So one of the heads, I'm going to throw this in the parts washer, but first there's some goo that I want to just scrape off with the tricks of the trade here and get them to fall in this blanket and not mix in with my nice cleanish mineral spirits. Second head over here, equally gross. And some gaskets. Remember that high performance 4-corner air bleed that I found? There's a passage for it here, but not there. It's blocked. So within the head down in here, it does look like it's open down into the spot above the combustion chamber, so it probably can flow, but it's weird that it's blocked in the gasket. I wonder if it's that way on the other motors. Well, confirmed the 6-liter gasket has openings on both sides, but I don't want to put the 6-liter gasket on my 5.3. It could lower compression. I kind of didn't want to clean this at all because you can introduce all kinds of nastiness. Are you staying stable over there, cameraman? Yeah. Okay. Don't shake, don't move. You can't move. You have to keep it stable. In fact, the tripod does it for you. You don't have to touch anything. Anyway, cleaning this up, you can knock a bunch of garbage in the ports and possibly not clean it up too well. Alright, I got some parts cleaned up. I'm going to start with the head gaskets. Get them cleaned up and sprayed off with brake clean and hanging to dry. Then I'll work on the heads. Okay. Alright, these gaskets, I don't think they're even multi-layer steel. I think they're composite.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna still try to do the copper spray trick. That stuff. And we'll see if it holds boost.
Jay, I want to do some.
So the cylinder heads are cleaner than I ever meant for them to be, and the head gaskets look pretty awful, but they're covered in copper, so we'll let that dry out overnight. It smells pretty bad inside the barn. I sprayed some WD-40 on the heads to keep them from rusting. I know they're aluminum, but they've got steel valves, and I know aluminum can corrode too. I don't know if this mineral spirit stuff is gonna make a problem for it. Well, dude, you can't grab the stand. It makes it shake. He helped me spray the copper. He helped me spray the carb clean, and wanted to get right in there on the mineral spirits too, but that's probably not a good thing for him to get into. Time to flip the engine right side up and put the cylinder heads on. Are you ready, buddy? Never used this copper spray stuff before. Seems like it worked pretty good. Everything is really sticky though, so I assume next time it comes apart there's going to be a lot of goo to clean, but these gaskets aren't as cheap as first gen small block gaskets, so it's kind of nice to try to reuse them if it'll work. I've always seen people use it on the multi-layer steel, but these are, I don't know, there's this like waffle pattern of steel covered by fabric basically. So I don't know if you're supposed to reuse this kind, but I'm going to give it a shot. I've got the steam port hole lined up with the front on both sides, the blocked one in the rear. I believe that's how it went. Alright, head on. Going back in with the factory bolts. These were the short ones that come from the ends of the heads. On the inside of the valve cover. So I was watching a Sloppy Mechanics video, again, for torque. Matt Apple was using his Milwaukee torque wrench, and he was trying to get 75 foot-pounds on all his stock head bolts, but he said it felt like they were hanging around. Some of them would go to 75, some would get to 71 and just hang there. So I'm just going to go with 69 foot-pounds and hope that my torque to yield bolts will hold up to that. Yeah, we'll see how that holds up to combustion with these janky head gaskets and old head bolts. You might not be surprised at what happens in the end. You tightening it up?
I'm doing it faster. I'm faster than you.
Good job. 69 foot-pounds, take my word for it.
Then I'm doing it like this.
Okay.
Giant. Giant. Look what bolts I'm smoothing. I'm smoothing up these bolts right here.
Yeah. Alright, heads are torqued. Still got to do the small bolts up top and the rockers, so that'll be next. Yesterday, off camera, this guy and I put the valve covers on. Underneath that, we got the rocker arms, the push rods. He tightened up all the valve covers. So we're going to move on with the intake manifold today. Oh, and also I took a little time and cleaned up the valve covers in the parts washer again. So heads and valve covers kind of clean. Down below, not so much. And then even this oil pan's getting dirty already from just touching it. Alright, let's move on. This manifold's not the cleanest. And everything in me is telling me I should clean this off before I stick it on, but it doesn't sound like the sloppy thing to do, so I'll just try to not disturb too much and throw it right back on top. So a while back I put on these Siemens Deca 80 injectors. They're still there, they've never used them yet, but it's a bummer that they hadn't come out with snake eater cheaper injectors yet, because I would have gone for a little bit bigger than 80 pounders if I had known better. I think 120 or 150 pound per hour would probably be closer for my goals, but this will be a good start. You can't have the radio on right now, buddy. Well, there she goes. Get some bolts started and have my little helper tighten them up.
Dad, I can do however I like.
Can you do it however fast you like?
No, I can't do it faster than you. Because I'm a big boy.
Yeah, and you got all that youth on your side. You're doing awesome. Coil packs are on. Spark plugs are in. Thinking about, can I put the starter on this thing and hook up the Mega Squirt and see if I get crank trigger or if any of the other sensors are working. If I get that, I wonder if I can hook up an old stock fuel pump out of the Caprice and see if it'll start on the stand. And if it does, I'll have to put manifolds on so I can just listen to it idle for a minute. But anyway, gotta get the car down. It's been a while, I don't remember what I did with the old fuel pump. I might have thrown it away, but I think I might have thought about doing this. I might have left it in the trunk. So we'll drop the car down and see if that's true.
Is that car old?
It's older than you. This is the car I was driving when you were born. Radiator, condenser, home plate. So I didn't leave it in the trunk, it looks like. It definitely has that old car smell, like a family of zombies. Didn't find it in the car. Maybe the fuel pump is in the old, the box from the sending unit. For some reason I saved that now. So that's in the house. I'll have to check that another day. Get the starter on at least. And I do know where my starter is. It's a lot easier than in the car. Would you look at that? That looks like an old fuel pump. Alright, I think we got this.